Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. I hope you all had a great trading week. Um, if we start with GBPJPY, we can get straight into it. Last week, what did I say? We were around here. I thought that price is forming lower highs and lower lows. We were at this area right here. The daily had these rejections into the previous high. I thought maybe now we are going to push down since the daily was bearish, the 4 hour was bearish, the weekly was bearish. But I did say keep in mind that reversals have happened here, reversals have happened here, and reversals have happened here. So don't be surprised if a reversal happens here. If you get stopped out and you took an entry, so be it. It is what it is. Maybe what you could learn from this situation is that, all right, if in the past we've seen many reversals, because it's difficult, right? My line could be seen as a strong support, but at the same time, this line could be seen as a strong support. So it's about maybe you could have taken an intra-day sell down into this area around here for hold the trade for 8 hours or so if it did come down there, or if you're more of a swing trader, you could have taken this down to the downside. What actually happened was, which is possible, it reversed, and I actually closed my trade when price closed above this high because there was a shift in structure. Yeah, I closed my trade after this candle, so I only lost like 0.4% on this trade. Um, which is fine for me. So that's just a quick recap of what happened last week. And we can just go back. Great. So let's see let's see what's going on. So if we just close everything for now, we know that if we just zoom out, this is a very strong level. This is a very, very strong level. We just zoom out even more. If you go back in time, right, even back here, this was a strong level in 2002. I don't even look this back. And but the point is that it's been respected for years. Here, here, around here, same time, it formed around a double bottom in 2015. This has been a respected level for a very long time. We could say basically 180, but it makes sense, right? It's a key around psychological level. Banks like trading up these levels. It's easy. The bank doesn't say let's trade price at 179,632 or 176,430. No, they say 180. Very simple. 180. Does it mean it taps 180 specifically? No, but it's around that area, right? 180 is the level if you just look to the right. It's our round level. So what's happened? Let's sorry, I got a really bad cough. The London weather's crazy here, so I'm a bit infected right now, so sorry about that. So I might be coughing a lot. Apologies. So we can see there's a huge wick, huge wick. We were trembling down and we reversed. But let's look at this reversal. This reversal's quite prominent because we closed above the previous high. We closed above the previous body, and we had a strong engulfing. Right now, this tells me that we couldn't break this level. But one thing I'm keeping at the back of my mind, this body here was respected. This body here on the 31st of July was respected on the 23rd of October. But this time round, we were able to close below. So we closed below that body and we formed a lower high on the weekly time frame. So this tells me that potentially there may be a shift in structure. Potentially on the weekly time frame. Maybe we may form a lower high and drop back down. That's at the back of my mind. Do I see it happening right now? Let's see. Let's break it down and see how we can capitalize on some entries because I don't need to know the future completely, right? I don't. Let me get a clear chart so it's easy to understand, to see. So if you look here, right? If we just zoom out, I want to buy because I think the key level right now is this level here. If we're going to get a drop, since we've closed above this daily resistance, right? I don't think it's going to be here. I think it may be at this previous support level, this key daily support. Look at how responsive this level was, and it's very recent as well. Maybe the daily has broken structure to the upside. So we're bullish on the daily time frame, we're bullish on the 4-hour time frame, and we're bearish on the weekly. So that's at the back of my mind. Just because the bearish is weekly doesn't mean I'm looking for the weekly is bearish doesn't mean I'm just looking for sales. We need to just keep that at the back of our mind and be intelligent in our approach. So the daily's closed above this high and this high. Cool, that's fine. Now the question is, where is the daily heading? The daily's pushed up. Is it going to get a pullback? Right? Is it going to get a big pullback? Is it going to get a small pullback? We don't know. We don't know. So we need to hypothesize this. We can see when price pushed up here, we had a small pullback into this level. Then we pushed up above, pulled back into this level, small pullbacks, small pullbacks. So GJ may be having such huge momentum to the upside, and after seeing that weekly engulfing, we may have a small pullback into this previous daily support, into resistance, sorry, but also support, resistance, 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 support, nearly came for resistance there. So we have a good area of interest. Very simple. So all I want now is the 4-hour to pull back and push up. Now you're probably thinking, but what about this 4-hour resistance here? I understand. But there's two things. We've closed above this 4-hour resistance, right? Number one. But number two, on the daily, these were wicks, and we've shifted. On the daily, we've closed above these bodies. So I'm expecting some sort of pullback like this, and I will buy into this area here, right? I will buy from here to here. If we don't get a rejection and we close above, we can look for a second entry and push is up from there. Pushes. If the daily closes above or the 4-hour cleanly closes above, pulls back, maintains above this area. Maybe we get a 4-hour wick rejection, then we scale down and we see a 30-minute engulfing or a clean 30-minute doji, prominent wick like this. We can take a buy into that level. Now, that's my buys hypothesis. That's how I'm looking for buys as of right now. A pullback into here and here, like something like this, similar to this PA, right? But I've said this already. I don't know if that's going to happen. But if we pull back and reject this area, I think there's a higher probability of us pushing up than pushing down after seeing rejections. Now, if we don't reject this area and we break above and pull back and then reject and create a support like this, I will look for buys again. Yep, it's very if and buts. Because the daily is bullish, the 4-hour is bullish. But the weekly is bearish. So that's why I need to see what's going on. Now, what else is very possible, right? Is if we reject, let's just remove all this for now, just for clarity. If we can see the daily is bullish and we've broken above the 3 previous highs, so there's a clear shift in momentum. But the daily and the 4-hour may be going bullish so that the week can get to the weekly area of interest and then drop. So now, if we maintain, maybe if we just go on the weekly quickly and I'll show you, the weekly may be coming around here. It may be looking to pull back. I think we're still bullish, by the way. I think that we're going to continue to the upside. Now, is it just going to happen like that? No, it may form a double like this. It may do that. Something like that. But I do think we might drop from here. But it just depends on if I see the rejections, right? But I'm just hypothesizing. I'm ready for all outcomes. I'm flexible in my approach. So going back to what I was saying on the weekly time frame, even the 3-day, we can see this is a good level, right? We can see it's a nice resistance as well. On the daily, it's a very nice support. Now, we may do something like this. Push up. Now, this is where the pullback may start. And we may pull back here or even down there. And we just need to see what happens here. Are we just going to continue and break down and the weekly bearish momentum is going to continue? Or are we going to reject this area and continue our upside move? Right? Does that make sense? So all I'm saying is, I don't know why I'm asking like as you can respond. But I hope it makes sense, right? Because what I'm trying to say is the weekly is bearish. This could happen, right? Okay, we don't know that, right? So that's fine. But I'm saying if it did, if we did get this, my TP won't be down there. My TP will just be at this support or this support right here. We need to see what happens there. If we break below these lows, I think we're going to head down there. If we maintain above these highs and reject it, I think we're going to definitely continue our momentum. So will I sell here? Absolutely, if we maintain below it. Absolutely. It's a very strong level, very strong support, very strong support, very strong support. And I have traded GBPJPY for like 2 years, 3 years now. And if I see an engulfing, if I see us maintain below, yeah, I will enter. And I will enter with something like this for sales. TP1 would be here. TP2 would be around this area here. You just look to the left, support, 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 support. Also, the 4 hour made a nice prominent wick there, and even if you go on the hourly time frame, you can see this is a prominent level, maybe somewhere around here. I would look for buys. SLs down into here. Do that. Yep. Be somewhere like this. Yep, like this. That would be my TP because that was our previous prominent wick. We tapped into this area and we flourished to the upside. I don't know if we're going to fully push back down here. I don't know. I will see how price responds here. If we maintain above it, I will close my trade. But I'm looking to take my TP down into there for a 124.4. That's how I would sell if we maintain below this zone. Yep, very flexible. So there's two things that can happen, just to summarize. We can come into this area and reject and drop, or break and retest. Simple, very simple. But I'm keeping the higher time frames at the back of my mind to understand why each scenario would happen. Yeah. And if you look, did I write any notes? No. Did I not write any notes? Yeah, I didn't write any notes for this. Okay, that's fine. And now if you go to gold for me, I'm looking for buys. Let me explain why. So, firstly, what's the first thing I wrote? Weekly, daily is clearly bullish. The higher time frames are bullish. The weekly is bullish. The daily is bullish. So that's what I'm keeping at the back of my mind. So I know, all right, cool, things are bullish right now. But the problem is, right, and if you just go on the quarterly time frame, just to understand how 2023 closed out, 2023 closed out above all these highs. Crazy. So there's so much bullish momentum with gold right now. So it's difficult to have TPs because price hasn't been here before, right? So it's difficult. So we need to keep things short. We can't have a massive TPs because there's no past data for us to hypothesize with. But what we do have is we have this weekly resistance. We have a wick, huge drop, a prominent wick, a huge drop, three prominent wicks, huge drop. Now we've come above this area and the weekly has closed above this area. So I've said that with weekly and daily is clearly bullish. We're at a weekly strong area of interest. The weekly has also given us a wick rejection. So these are all confirmations to look for buys. We've had two daily. Where's it gone? Let's zoom in. We've had two daily rejections, 1, 2, and a prominent wick into zone. That's the prominent wick. Oops. Prominent wick, and that prominent wick could be seen as the manipulation of these lows for price to potentially continue up, as it's probably grabbed some liquidity there. Then if you go into the 4-hour time frame, what did I say? We have a 4-hour strong support and resistance. Support. Look at this. Doji, huge pump up. Come below. Tap, tap, tap. Drop down. Came back above. Tap, tap. Push up. Oh, we're back into this area again. We had a 4-hour engulfing. We came down. We had a huge prominent wick to take out these early buyers. So, and we had a wick to the downside and a wick to the upside. But I know you're probably thinking, but there's this wick to the upside, and why would we buy against this wick? I understand, but there's a wick to the downside as well. So there's a wick up and down. It's gonna go one way, right? My hypothesis tells me that there's a high probability of us going up. Um, you could avoid this market condition as well. You could be like, I don't want to trade in these wicks, which is fine. It's at your own risk. Now, I want to look to get in. I want to look to get in. So even if you go on the 15-minute as well, you can see there's a clean break of structure. We're pulling back. Look at the break of structure. Lower high, lower high, lower high, higher high, higher low. Now we're just consolidating. So that's another one. So I've looked at this and I've said, okay, maybe if price comes here and we reject this red ray, I will look for buys. If we don't reject this red ray, I will see if we reject this support. If we do, I will look for buys. But you can see my stop loss is below that wick. It's very volatile, so I don't want my stop below the zone for now. I'll just keep it below the wick and I will get it. And my TP would be not too big, not all the way up there. It would just be at this previous resistance, just because price hasn't been here before, and I don't want to hold my bias for too long because I'm not sure exactly where it's going to head to. But I do think overall gold is bullish over the long term, especially in 2024. So yeah, that's why I said if I get a slight rejection of red ray, we'll look to enter on the pullback here. So that's the pullback in this red ray. Expecting weekly leg look now. On the weekly, I'm expecting another wick to the downside. If you see here, we had 1, 2, 3, 4 wicks. We had 2 wicks drop, 2 wicks drop, wick drop. So I'm expecting 1 wick, another wick into this zone for a potential push up. So I'm anticipating that wick, and our job is to get in at the bottom of that next weekly wick or close to the bottom and buy. If I'm wrong, so be it. It's life, it happens. But these are enough confluences for me to take the trade. Great. I hope that helped everyone. If you do want to follow me on Instagram and you can follow me the trades I take live, just follow me. No, it's not that actually. Why am I writing my name? Great. That's my IG. Please do give me a follow and we can definitely talk on DMs if you have any questions as well. But again, I said this before. I'm just documenting these YouTube videos for myself, and anyone that can help would be great. I hope it does help people as well. But I do want to revisit this in the future when I've achieved my goals and I can actually come back to this. It would be quite fascinating to see. So, yeah, great. Thank you very much. Thank you everyone for watching. Please do like and subscribe if you got any value. Please do drop some comments for feedback on how I can improve these videos or things you want me to explain further, please. So yeah, thank you very much.